his big feet into his heavy leather work boots and pulled his undershirt back on. Sliding his suspenders over his thick shoulders, Boris glanced over at the bed. Sadie lay on her back, pale legs splayed, eyes open and staring lifelessly up at the ceiling. Got what she deserved, he thought. Still, the sheriff might not see it that way. Boris grabbed his floppy brown felt hat, tugged it low on his forehead, strode along the hall and down the back stairs. Plenty of jobs around. Time he found himself a new one. Plenty of whores around, too. Boris smiled to think of the pleasure in store for him when he found himself a new woman. Chapter 2. Jerome, Arizona. October, modern day. The Copper Star Saloon and Hotel on Main Street buzzed with activity. Tourists came from all over the country to visit the remnants of the old mining boomtown the New York Sun had once described as the wickedest town in the West. The town, a city of 15,000 at its peak, was now an infamous ghost town with a population of less than 500. It had been falling in ruins until the 60s, when artists and shopkeepers began moving in, keeping the town alive. Built in the 1890s, the Copper Star had been ravaged by fire 4 times, but had always managed to survive. The molded tin ceilings, bat-wing doors, long wooden bar, and ornately carved back bar looked the same as they had more than 100 years ago. The owner, Jenny Spencer, worked behind the bar, comfortable in a business that had been family-owned for as long as she could recall. After her father had died, her Uncle Charlie had run the business. Then 6 months ago, Uncle Charlie had also passed away. Though Charlie had a son, the sad truth was Eddie Spencer wasn't capable of running the place. He'd been into booze and drugs since his teens. Instead, Jenny had inherited the saloon and hotel she had been running ever since her divorce. Behind the bar, Jenny drew beers and made drinks for the tourists, smiled and made conversation. The place was usually peaceful in the daytime, but when the town was full of summer visitors, the bars and saloons could get rowdy. Fortunately, she was well known in the small town, where everyone seemed to watch out for each other. So far, she had managed to take care of herself. Setting 2 beers in the counter and retrieving the patron's money, Jenny looked up to see her tall, lanky brother shoving through the bat-wing doors. Breathing a sigh of relief, she rounded the bar and hurried toward him. "I didn't know you were coming, but I'm really glad you're here." "You look a little harried. Everything okay?" "Unfortunately, no. The hotel's full. It's time to clean the rooms. I'm down to 1 girl, and the bartender didn't show up." She glanced at the customers seated at the wooden tables scattered around the saloon. "Could you possibly take over till I get things worked out?" Dylan just shrugged. "Sure, no problem." "Thanks, you're a lifesaver." Jenny went up on her toes and kissed his cheek, knocking aside his dark blue baseball cap where the words Prescott Fire gleamed in white letters on the front. She was far shorter than her brother's 6'1" frame, her long curly hair a lighter shade of brown. "Sorry." She tugged the cap back down over his forehead. "I promise I won't be long." Jenny headed for a door on the other side of the saloon that led to the hotel lobby. Halfway there, she spotted the regular bartender coming in. "Sorry I'm late." Troy Layton was sandy-haired and good-looking, a real ladies' man, good for business in the saloon. "I had car trouble this morning, carburetor problem. I figured you could handle things till I got here." "A phone call would have been a good idea," Jenny said. "At least you finally made it. I've got work to do upstairs." "Like I said, I had car trouble. I'll call next time." Jenny didn't bother to reply. Troy was a pain in the neck, but he was a good bartender. In a town as small as Jerome, not an easy guy to replace.